Hello, my name is Wright and I'm in my second year at Leeds Beckett University studying fashion marketing. I will be discussing the micro-macro factors that are relevant to my chosen organisation, their marketing activities and a recommendation on how they can be more successful. My chosen organisation is Wright Vintage. Wright Vintage is a Leeds-based vintage, used, recycled and reworked clothing brand with an ethical and forward-thinking approach to business and is currently one of the largest vintage wholesalers in the UK. I'm going to begin discussing what entrepreneurial marketing is. Ed Neeson suggests that entrepreneurial businesses often create products and services based on radically new technology that have the power to change the marketplace. Though, according to Stokes, the main thrust of entrepreneurial marketing is an emphasis on adapting marketing to forms that are appropriate to small and medium-sized enterprises, acknowledging the likely pivotal role of the entrepreneur in any marketing activities. I'm going to use the Steeple framework and explore the political, ethical, environmental and social-cultural angle of Wright Vintage, which are most relevant. Economic factors. According to research by This Is Money, disposable incomes fell by 0.1% on average, mainly due to the rising prices, which have left households with less leftover money after essentials. The graph highlights the impact of inflation between 1998 and 2016. Consumers are having to be careful with their spending habits and focus on necessities. However, it may drive revenue and new customers for Wright, who sell affordable clothing, but may be detrimental to luxury brands. Ethical factors. Wright Vintage is a vintage clothing wholesalers who work hand in hand with rag houses that process vintage clothing. Clothes that are damaged or stained are then sold to vintage refurbished companies so that the items can be reconstructed, and any desirable items are donated to local charities or disaster relief organisations. Less of us are willing to purchase fast fashion clothing that has been unethically made, whether it be because of poor working environments, low wages or its damaging impact on the environment and contribution to landfill. This is why vintage brands such as Wright are desirable because of their sustainable source of products. In relation, a social-cultural shift is our ageing population, which may negatively affect Wright as a small organisation, aiming at the 16 to 25 young demographic with a low budget and disposable income, but a thrive for trends and fashion itself. Although the total population is projected to keep growing through to 2045, the percentage of young people would decrease from 33% to 30% by 2043. Social-cultural. Fashion is constantly evolving and is surrounded by the latest trends. According to Neil Richardson, social-cultural attitudes evolve and what we deem unacceptable now may not always be the case. Alternatively, things we tolerated in the past are no longer acceptable. As stated by Lisa Aiken, the former fashion director at Net-a-Porter, there is a dramatic rise in vintage as a socially and culturally accepted and adopted trend. We have seen a mashup of references and designers that have taken this idea of vintage and made it their own. Microenvironment. The microenvironment involves those stakeholders in and around a company who they have influence and control over. Competitors. Wright is based in Leeds, which thrives on vintage stores and charity shops. As being located in a student city, second-hand clothing is popular and loved by the youth. Retro Boutique, Pop Boutique and Best Leeds are their main competitors. Customers. According to Neil Richardson, customers are constantly changing and technology is enabling quicker, easier decision-making. As customers change, their desires, needs and wants also change, and if your company doesn't adapt with them, you'll fail to satisfy the customers and lose them to the competition. This is their biggest threat, having only 2 outlets. Wright makes sure their customer satisfaction is strong to drive their marketing. With 4.4 stars on Google reviews written by opinion leaders, these reviews are written by not necessarily experts but people with their own personal experiences. Richardson suggests that marketers have always argued that word of mouth is the strongest form of promotion. The organisation's main entrepreneurial activity is their event called the Kilo Sale, used as an effective marketing technique. They advertise this service on social media and are active in doing so. The event offers a kilo's worth of clothes for £15 rather than a single item for a set price. This is appealing to students on a budget. Although Wright could improve by investing more time into their viral marketing as a powerful tool. Wright could pick 50 people who post a picture of them at their Kilo Sale on Instagram and reward their consumers with a 30% off voucher in their Leeds bricks and mortar store. This will encourage new customers and retention in both their event and their store. Wright could also place these events to larger venues such as festivals, universities, halls of residence or evening events, rather than smaller venues in the day, to aim their products to a wider audience and get access to people who have no brand awareness. Thank you for watching.